Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly moon update. My name is Allison, the self-proclaimed priestess of Wonderland, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the moon energy for the current week. In this week's case, we are talking about November 11th through the 17th. We have a full moon in Taurus, and a Taurus full moon has this very supportive energy to it. Taurus is an earth sign. So this week is encouraging you to do the things that best support and hold you. Taurus energy just creates this safe space, this divine masculine space. A lot of us get confused about toxic masculine versus divine masculine, and Taurus energy is a really great way to tap into that divine masculine that's totally supportive and nurturing, in the same way that Cancer energy is the divine feminine and that mothering energy. I think it's important that we're reminded of that support, of that, even if you don't feel like you have a positive masculine energy in your life or had a positive father figure growing up, or in the same way that even if you didn't have a positive mother figure in your life when you were growing up, you are still able to tap into that divine feminine or that divine masculine, that mothering energy, because we are all loved and supported by the divine mother and father. There are some really wonderful deities to work with Taurus energy, Cernunnos being one of them, because he is the horned god. And when we're talking about Taurus, we're talking about the bull, who also has horns. So while I feel like November is this time it's kind of like this in-between month where we've just had Samhain and that really thin veil. But like, once the veil is thin, it doesn't just get thicker and turn into this like cement wall. We still have access to that thin veil here in November. So I really try to work with deity and ancestors throughout the whole month of November, because we're still so close to that. It's just the same gradual movement. The veil thinning and thickening is the same gradual movement as the moon changing phases. If you look out in the sky on Wednesday, the moon's probably going to look almost full, even though it's not 100% full until Friday, technically. So it's just this gradual movement, just like the moon's phases, with that thinning and thickening of the veil. So the veil is still thin in September and November. It's just October is when it's at its thinnest, but you can still tap into that energy all year long. It's just a little bit easier now. So we've got a lot to talk about with this full moon. Let's jump into the moon energy of this week. We had our first quarter moon on Saturday, so we're starting off kind of close to first quarter energy here on Monday. Moon's a little bit more than half full. Then throughout the rest of this week, we will have a waxing gibbous moon until our moon is full on Friday. And then after the full moon, there's a little tiny sliver over here. The moon will start darkening on the right side. So this is our waning gibbous, Saturday and Sunday. So lots of energy this week from first quarter to full. We've just got like all this light and all this energy, but nothing compared to like the Aries full moon last month, which is very volatile and expressive. Taurus is an earth sign, so it's very subdued energy. It's more of this, it's more of like a power and like a strength when we have heightened Taurus earth energy. So on Monday, we're starting off in Pisces, and I said last week, you know, I don't like starting off the week with Pisces energy because I tend to like not get much done. But at least, so maybe just have a slow start to Monday. And then, I mean, Aries is always after Pisces. So you kind of like make up for that lost time with some fire and some speed. There's been this like lingering energy, I feel like, with Pisces energy since the lunar eclipse in Pisces. Has it been 2 months now? Yeah, 2 months now, because we've had Aries and now a Taurus full moon. So 2 months. There was this lingering Pisces energy with that Aries full moon last month, which I was assuming was like because that Aries full moon was technically closing out the eclipse season. Even though the Aries full moon wasn't an eclipse, it kind of bookended the eclipse season, because we didn't have a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse like in the same moon cycle, like cycled together. We had them kind of separate because the Pisces lunar eclipse was paired with the Virgo new moon, and then we had a Libra solar eclipse new moon paired with the Aries regular moon. So they were kind of split and almost kind of like joined together. So there's, but I still feel like this Pisces first quarter moon or waxing gibbous moon, it still has this like lingering feeling from the eclipse, almost in the same way that, like, I mean, we talk about Pisces energy being sleepy and dreamy, kind of in the same way that, like, you know, when you have like a really vivid dream and you wake up the next day and you kind of can't get away from it, like it lingers, you're still thinking about the dream at the end of the day or throughout the day, and you just kind of like can't get away from this weird feeling. That's kind of what this feels like to me. And this full moon, the full moon activity that I have of making your perfect manifestation soup, and with the cards that we have for this week, there is this dreamy energy, and Scorpio season helps us to figure out what our blockages are. Like, what are the things that are blocking you from manifesting the things that you want? So there is this, like, what are you dreaming about? What do you want to manifest with this time of year right now? I can't really explain it. I don't really know why. We'll be in Pisces for all day Monday, and then early in the morning, 1:26 a.m. is when we move into Aries. So anything that you didn't get done on Monday because you were too busy daydreaming is gonna be Tuesday, and Wednesday is gonna be a good day to get that shit done. Use that energy. I don't drink coffee on Aries days because it's too much. Like, I'm just running around like crazy and not getting anything done. I find that the Aries moon energy, especially a waxing gibbous Aries moon, is enough caffeine to, like, for me for me anyways. So let's see. Then all of the transitions this week are happening kind of like right after midnight. Thursday is when we move into Taurus energy at almost 2 a.m. And that puts us in the full moon energy. So we'll be in the Taurus full moon energy for all day Thursday and all day Friday, and then again in early morning transition, 2:09 a.m. is when we move into Gemini. So this is the full moon party weekend with divine masculine, safe. Like, these are like very much themes around the root chakra of feeling safe and feeling protected and feeling supported, like physically supported. Divine Mother is more of that, like, emotionally supported, energetically supported, whereas Taurus Earth divine masculine energy is very much a physical, like, being held, supported, hugged, grounded, and safe. And not a lot of us have that sense of safety, or didn't have that sense of safety growing up. Our root chakras are developed from the very, like, 0 to 5 years, and not everybody has that feeling of safety and protection. And not just if you identify as female. I think this is true for males as well. Not really feeling like they are safe because they're told that they need to be stronger. So in the Just a Phase Moon Planner, I'm encouraging you to like throw out these words that make you feel safe and supported, that make your dreams feel safe and supported. And to be, I don't know why, how you're speaking to yourself always comes up for me for Taurus moons. Usually the Taurus new moon in the spring is when we have that exercise of paying attention to your automatic thoughts, paying attention to your anxious thoughts, and transforming them into a more positive affirmation kind of thing. And I don't know why it always, like, I want to put it on the Gemini new moon. Like every year, I'm like, this needs to be the Gemini new moon activity. But for some reason, it always comes back to Taurus. And it has, I think it's just our thoughts can be our foundation. Like when you have a thought, an idea of something that you want to create, it's an idea. It's not physical or tangible. And how you think about that idea, how you're talking to yourself about that idea helps create the foundation for whether or not you're going to create this thing. So what's an example? Well, I think I always use the planner as an example of me creating the planner. And it's like, I have this idea and I have this vision of what I want it to be. But then I always have these like negative thoughts of like, well, it's not going to be, it never comes out the way you want it to come out. And you're so slow working on things, like you're never going to finish it on time, and there's a very big deadline with creating a planner. So those are the kind of things that come up, and we want to change that wording to something more positive. So I put a list of words here as an example for how you might want to be speaking to yourself about your dreams and the things that you want to create. Some of them are kind of like practical things like time and money, support, how you need to feel in order to create something. Like you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel cozy, you want your space to be clean and organized, you want to have all the tools that you need, you want to believe in yourself, you want to trust that you can accomplish this thing, you need to have a foundation, you need to have groundwork. So these are just examples of what you might want to be adding into your manifestation soup, the positive ingredients that are going to like help motivate you. And this idea of having it simmer throughout the entire winter is, I think, very significant, again, because I know I talked about a lot about the Mars retrograde last week, but it really does kind of feel like a Mars retrograde has that fire going underneath your manifestation soup, and it's going to boil and it's going to simmer, and you're going to do all the shadow work, and you're going to hibernate, and you're going to grow and change within your cocoon. And then hopefully all of those awesome ingredients are just going to be like absolutely perfect for when we dive into moving again, taking action again when Mars goes direct. So I think the Taurus full moon can help highlight what are the things that you need to feel supported and safe, and to feel like you have this sturdy foundation from which to build your dreams upon. So do make your manifestation soup Thursday night, Friday night. The full moon is technically at 4:28 p.m. Friday afternoon. I mean, we'll still be in Taurus energy until 2 o'clock in the morning Saturday. And then Gemini is going to help us have a playful weekend, hopefully. You know, Taurus can be serious and a little bit rigid. I had a Taurus father, and it was hard to get him to move. Gemini comes in right after Taurus season to do just that, to play. So this week feels so very different from the last full moon that we had a month ago, that there was this huge buildup to the Aries full moon. But remember, Taurus is slow moving, and it's like this one step at a time, gradual movement forward. So that the energy of this week kind of feels like that. And especially having like the full moon on a Friday, it's going to feel like the moon keeps getting bigger and keeps getting bigger and keeps getting bigger and keeps getting bigger, but it's not full until Friday. So it just has that very like slow moving progression to it. All right, so we're using the Alice the Wonderland Oracle by Lucy Cavendish for our card this week, and we have All in a Golden Afternoon. Inspiration, creative spark, imagination, and conception. So the beginning of this card has a poem from the beginning of Alice in Wonderland, but it only has like a few lines from it. So I thought I would read the entire poem. So all in the golden afternoon, full leisurely we glide, for both our oars with little skill by little arms are plied, while little hands make vain pretense our wanderings to guide. Ah, cruel three, in such an hour, beneath such dreamy weather, to beg a tale of breath too weak to stir the tiniest feather. Yet what can one poor voice avail against three tongues together? Imperious Prima flashes forth her etiquette to begin it. In gentler tones, Secunda hopes there will be no nonsense in it, while Tertia interrupts the tale not more than once a minute. A nun to sudden silence one, in fancy they pursue, the dream child moving through a land of wonders wild and new. In friendly chat with bird or beast, and half believe it true. And ever as the story drained the wells of fancy dry, a faintly strove that weary one to put the subject by. The rest next time, it is next time, the happy voices cry. Thus grew the tale of Wonderland, the slowly one by one. Its quaint events were hammered out, and now the tale is done. And home we steer, a merry crew, beneath the setting sun. Alice, a child's story take, and with a gentle hand, lay it where childhood's dreams are twined in memory's mystic band, like pilgrims' withered wreath of flowers plucked in a far-off land. So this is a poem about like how Lewis Carroll created the story of with the real Alice Liddell. So the quote that she has in here is, "A nun to sudden silence one, in fancy they pursue, the dream child moving through a land of wonders wild and new." In ancient times, we did not think an individual was responsible for their creativity. More so, a person blessed with creative genius, a divine spark, or a brilliant idea was thought to have been visited by a muse, genie, or other spirit that could inspire someone with ideas that were longing to be born in the world. At the very beginning of the tale of Alice, there is a poem, a preface, which portrays the moment the author was begged to create the story. This card represents the time immediately before Alice's existence. There is no rabbit hole, no Cheshire Cat, no Mad Hatter, no Queen of Hearts. There is only the urge to tell a story. So it is with you at this moment. A spark of inspiration is about to descend upon you. A wondrous tale is asking to be told through you. This surge of imagination can take many forms. It can be a creative solution to a problem you are experiencing. It may mean using visualization to improve at a physical activity, or painting a picture with a new technique or a fresh perspective. Whatever form it takes, you are actively telling the story of your life with every word you speak and creating the story in action with every move you make. What wonderlands can you create when you allow yourself to be open to the genius all about you and invite it to come into the world through you? You are imaginative. You are creative. You have that spark within you. Whatever it is you wish to do, paint, draw, sing, write, dance, do this creative, vital, brilliant, life-bringing thing. Who knows what creations you can bring forth? Why not begin to discover the possibilities today? So the divination of this card is time to create an imaginative idea. Inspiration takes hold, talent and ability, and the muse touches down in your life. Get ready. So, like, this is literally like before the story, before that spark of inspiration comes. And I think how this portrays this week is that Taurus is going to be like the soft place for that creativity to land. Or for that spark to land. That little nest of kindling, and you're waiting for that spark to land right on it so that it can ignite into something else. It's like, so Taurus is like the structure, the foundation, the container from which to create, the cauldron for your manifestation soup. So here we are with the number one card that comes up from this chakra deck, Unlimited Prosperity. Money is energy, and we hold a precious choice, whether to prevent or encourage its flow. Are your channels for giving and receiving open wide enough? Do you allow the vibration of prosperity to radiate both from you and towards you? Reflect on your resources and how you can use them to create more abundance for both yourself and those around you. Remember also to give back with an open heart for all that is coming your way. Give thanks before you receive. So this is a solar plexus chakra. The crystal they recommend is yellow fluorite, and the herb is basil. Do I need to talk about this card? I feel like we've had it so many times. When we block ourselves off from receiving, then we're not receiving anything. And then look, this is going to be our new, now that everybody that needed to get Celestite got Celestite, now Angelite's going to keep coming up for us. So Angelite is a stone of compassion, peace, and calm. It facilitates clear celestial communication, attracts angelic presence, and acts as an anchor for angelic guides. Angelite is a throat stone that a throat chakra stone that encourages self-expression, compassion, and calms the nervous system. So I think that this card speaks to the energy of this week as a reminder to co-create with spirit. Like personally for me, like I try to control everything, even despite like the guidance that I've been receiving. Like, for example, with the Just a Phase Moon Planner, I've been like in the back of my head, there's always this voice that's telling me like, make an undated one, make an undated one. And I keep trying to do it, but like, I can't get it how I want to. And, and I just have to, I have to like let go of that control and trust that like, I'm being guided to do the right thing, but like, I'm too much of a control freak, I guess, that I'm just like, it needs to be this certain way, and I just need to let go. So remember that like communication with spirit, and also like speaking of the throat chakra and encouraging self-expression, goes back to like the full moon exercise of using positive words to talk to yourself, to think about your goals and your dreams in a positive way, and combating those negative thoughts or doubts that come up. Look at how the colors of the cards go so perfectly together. The yellow of her hair with the yellow of the prosperity card, and the blue of the Angelite card, and the blue of her dress in the water there. It's like they were made for each other. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, happy full moon week. I hope that you're being kind to yourself. I hope that you're loving yourself. And, you know, I always say this with Cancer energy, to like be the mother that you didn't have, with Cancer energy, to like love and support and practice self-care with Cancer energy. And I don't know why I never think to say, like, be the father for yourself that you've never had. Be that strength and that support and that sense of safety for yourself. Don't be mean to yourself with those negative thoughts and that doubt. Be the father that you wanted to have, needed to have, that we all deserve to have, and speak positively and encouraging, and speak in a way that's more advisatory to yourself and constructive criticism instead of maybe negative self-doubt. Be the father that you needed for yourself. Or, you know, connect to Cernunnos is like my favorite deity to work with for divine masculine energy. Pan is too, but Pan's super naughty and playful, and Pan is there for a more like when you want to like go get drunk and have fun and party and play, Whereas Cernunnos is just gonna be there in a fatherly way that like you might need for support and safety. The Green Man is another masculine energy to work with as well. I have some Green Man figures, but I'm always go to the Horned God instead, Cernunnos. So I hope you have a happy full moon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I cannot wait to see you on the other side of the looking glass again sometime soon. Bye. After midnight around 1:26 p.m. or wait a minute. Why did I just write that wrong?